So just a brief introduction here to Junya, who's running for District 10 state representative. And it's his first time running. And again, we had him on a meet and greet, and he was able to connect with some of our community in that way. And this is another opportunity for us to really get to understand where Junya is coming from and his position and what he has to offer at being a state representative. So Sean, you want to start off?
Sure. Aloha. Junya, it's nice to have you here. I really do appreciate it. You can take yourself off of mute because we're going to be asking questions. You'll be the one unmuted person for the next hour. First of all, we want to thank you for stepping forward. You're still on mute, Junya. You can take your mute off. You go to the upper right-hand corner. You'll see three little tiny dots, and you should be able to. There you go. Okay, great. So first of all, thank you so much for stepping forward. It's people don't even begin to understand the amount of work it takes to run for office, the sacrifice for the family, and the fact that you've got to have your family behind you for this to work in any way. And also the fact that our democracy, as many challenges as it has, it's only as good as the people that decide to put their hat in the ring and really run. We all learn, we're all humbled by the process if we have true hearts. And so thank you very much for being there from that side. So I'm going to start off, I've got about 5 minutes to ask you a few questions, and we're going to shoot it over to some other people. I'm going to give you literally 2 minutes just to speak a little about who you are and what it is that what you're doing and why I'm going to ask you the question, why are you running? And what is it that would make you better than the incumbent that's here now?
My name is Leonard Nakoa III, also known as Junya Nakoa. Live here in Lahaina. We have two beautiful daughters, like I said last time. They is my everything. I'm pretty much here. The reason why I'm running is I've been pretty much the voice of the people through my union background, to being here in Lahaina, and just again, I coach baseball, canoe. I'm all over the town of Lahaina, and I just hear people, and I just want, I want to stand up. So I've done that at the county level. I went to county council. And Sean, I see you over there a couple times, and I love that process, all of that, and so that's the reason why I'm running. And I think that I can be a voice of the people, and again, but it got to be a bit of ears first, and then the voice, and then I definitely can do that. With being what I can do better than the incumbent. Again, the lack of communication that he has with us. You know what I mean? A lot of us here in Lahaina, if we had the communications where I know you can ask him, I call him before like once, twice a week, sometime at least once a month, and I keep on asking about certain issues. And what I'm trying to say is, as much as involved I am with politics, how come I don't know what's happening in the capital? And so I just want to let the people of Lahaina and then the whole Maui and then again Hawaii know that what's going on in the halls, what's really going on. And I'm going to walk the halls, but knock on the doors, and tell them, hey, what's going on? I educate myself on each one of them, all 51 of them. That I can let everybody know what's going on. And this Zoom thing is awesome. We can go ahead and educate. I like to say, be attorney, be broader educating America. I want to educate our voters of Hawaii what's actually going on in the capital. But at the same time, I got to educate. I got to know what I'm doing. So slowly doing my reading and researching, slowly on the internet. Slowly doing. I gotta get educated to get in there too. And I like listening to people like you, Sean. The county level, you do some damage or whatever. They listen to you. Again, just learning from everybody, and the people who steps up. So sorry.
I do appreciate that. It's the only thing that really makes a difference here is for us to be able to step up. And seriously, we honestly do appreciate you being here. And one question I do have is, if you were going to run for the county council, I would ask you, when's the last time you read the charter and what parts of the charter speak to you? Since you're running for state legislature, the state legislature's right to even do anything at all as far as legislate laws comes from the state constitution, which is John Wai'ehe, all those amazing people that wrote it back in the other days. Have you ever sat down and read the state constitution at any time?
And like I was saying, I slowly started to read the state constitution. I got to educate myself. I'm not going to tell you I read the whole thing. That thing is pretty long. Right in the very beginning, what I would like was the rights of the citizen, like what the rights of us, and what the thing says. No citizen shall be disenfranchised or something like that, with something to do with the law of the land. And so I'm trying to, educate myself about that. And I will keep on educating myself. I got a couple, will go ahead and read the thing, and I'm going to take very use of it. I mean, I got to look the internet, read, and just keep doing them. My kid's old, so I don't need homeschool. So I got to go to school now. I got to go to school.
I hear you, Junya. Well, I'm gonna pass you on now. Bruce, do you have a question that you'd like to ask Junya? You're muted. Bruce, you're muted.
Unmute.
Thank you. We basically have a one-party state here, Democratic Party. What are your feelings about, in the Constitutional Convention, removing partisan politics from the state level, just as it's been done in the county level?
Yeah, like the county level, they don't even have it, so that's solid. I'm a Democrat because, again, my father was. I grew up in a union background, ILW. I worked for them for like 10 years. But to tell you the truth, no need a party, kind of. You know what I mean? We all together. We all gotta come together and work together. So I'm sorry, I would throw the parties out. I know each one gets their own values, but if we can all just come together as one party, oh my God, we'd be dangerous. We'd be scary. We'd be real scary. I mean, I think we'd be right where we want to be if we all could just work together. Sorry, I hope that would answer.
Yeah. And you get in the state legislature, everyone has to decide what their primary objectives and goals are. What would be the main thing you would work on in the state? And what are the main issues that you would be focusing on?
Well, one of my major issues that kind of got my blood revving is the housing. Back in 1998, trying to work for the housing, trying to get into the housing, but then there's so many loops, and we got to jump over so many things just to make the thing happen. And then what I learned is try to get the government and the private entity to try to work together. I actually did it. I tried it, and it kind of doesn't work because we end up making too much $1 million homes and not enough for the working people. So, I mean, housing is what really ticks me off. I mean, it just lights a fire underneath me where, like, all the hotels that we have here in Kaanapali, all are supposed to have either give us 50% or 25% of workforce housing. And all of a sudden, they made this, not all of a sudden, but then there's a thing called in lieu of and housing credits that these guys could buy out one house for $20,000, which you cannot buy one. You cannot build a house for $20,000. I mean, so that's what the developers got away with. So housing is my major thing that I'm really looking into, and I'm gonna look in the state constitution about that. I think get one article about that, and I'm gonna read up on it like crazy.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass it to the next person.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. So out of our band of miscreants here, okay, Paul, go for it.
Hi, Junya.
How's it, brother?
A question about really the lifeblood of the island, and that's our water system. And as a state representative, do you see a necessity for full financial disclosure and transparency for members of the Board of Land and Natural Resources? Basically, who effectively make decisions involving hundreds of millions of dollars of natural resources. And they're doing that for the state. They're supposedly a volunteer type position. But what would you do to create accountability and to also maybe change the system that has such a huge effect here on Maui? And really, not only does the water affect our development, but our crops and what we can and can't do. So I'd like your thoughts on that.
Yeah, thank you for that one. I watched this morning at 10 o'clock, had the Supreme case, and I was watching that, and then I give props to the silver lady because she was a strong lady. You know, she stood up. But if we can just hold them, you know, like transparency, because like when I get off it, you guys gonna know what I'm voting, what I'm doing. I'm gonna let you guys know what everybody else voting and what they're doing. And so why we can have the BLNR have that same kind of transparency. So we know that these guys never do the EIS how long ago, or EIA, you know, like 30 years ago. Then we can hold them accountable right then and there that they was taking our free water and charging everybody. So, yeah, I was just, I mean, you got a transparency for the BLNR, everybody in office, everybody who's even appointed, elected, should be, transparency should be solid. Sorry, I hope that answers.
Right. But the reality is, right now we have the system, and what other things aside from demanding that we have transparency, other concrete actions that could really help make this become a reality, especially when we see the impact it's having on our community.
Yeah, I mean, standing up for like the East Maui guys, the terraformers, listening to those guys, listening to the upcountry for the water meters. We, as legislators, when I do get in, gotta go ahead and start pushing to protect all of this. And so make it easier for the silver lady to fight for us. You know, so we got to put in the legislation to fight all of this stuff. Sorry, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Let's go on to the next interview.
Sure. Sylvia?
You have to
Are you
unmute,
here?
Sylvia.
There we go. Oh, you were unmuted and then you remuted. There you go. You got it.
Thank you, Junya. Thank you for coming tonight. I wonder if, what is it about the incumbent that really is there something that gets your goat? Is there something about the incumbent, McKelvey, that makes you think, oh, I better jump in this conversation. I need to hold this person's feet to the fire. We need a change. Sorry to get that specific, but is there something about McKelvey, the incumbent, that made you want to run?
Like I said, I know the guy for years. I respect the guy, all of that. There are a couple issues that came up that I kind of called his office and also Russ Baker's office, you know, because they're the one who represent me in Lahaina. So I like I said, I told you guys, I called the mayor, I called up the county council, called up our representatives. Angus, he kind of got me to run because when I was here in Lahaina, Napili, I keep on calling and he's always saying, oh, like I want to meet with him. And he's always saying, oh, I'm busy in Honolulu, I'm busy in Honolulu. And there was an incident when I spent about two months up in Honolulu. So when I was there, I tried contacting him. I said, hey, buddy, let's sit down, let's meet, let's get this. Oh man, I'm back here on Maui. And so that kind of light a fire underneath me. And then so with all of that, I gotta educate myself. So that's why that's the kind of the reasons why. And again, if he's been there for that long, Lahaina people should be the most educated people right now, what's happening in the capital. And that's what I want to bring, because I got to keep on calling asking what's going on. What's going on here? What's going on there? And like right now, I don't know what's going on in the capital, you know, that, I just don't know. That's the reason. I want to know what's going on in the capital. And that's what got me lit up, because I never get nothing from him.
Thanks for sharing that. It makes me, well, and thank you for being in the conversation and looking to hold our legislators accountable. And what are some of the conversations that you would like to have when Roz or Angus didn't call you back or meet with you? What would you like to say to them? What are the conversations and the issues that you would like to get across with them?
Again, educating about the injection wells was a big one. Roz Baker, zero, no communication to her. Angus, I talked to him a lot. In fact, when I was at a county council, I was sitting in there. I called him up. Hey, where you stay? And he said, I'm on my way, which is good. You know what I mean? And that's what we gotta do. You know, just gotta keep on doing what the people wants, you know? Like, I mean, yeah, like that's what I wanted him to do, the injection wells, and then also the housing credits and the in lieu of, because again, he says a lot of things about, it's a county thing, it's a county thing. And then so I go to the county level and I call every single one of them now. I even wait outside the door, and I sit out there and wait for them to come out. And they say, we gotta, it's a in lieu of, and so then they start pointing fingers at each other, at the state and the county. So I just wanted to, I was getting frustrated with that. And then also the bypass, like on the seawalls thing. Like we camped on Olowalu for like 1 week, and we tried calling all these guys up, Roz and Angus. And then finally, there's somebody from the state highway divisions came over and finally got some action from the state. They actually came there because the construction guys were ready for kick us out. Cops came, everything, and they're ready for kick us out. So then the state had to come. So again, all those three things, those guys never do nothing. They never do nothing, and at least stand up for the people or tell me what I can do. While I was there for 5 days. Tell me what I can do about the housing credits and the in lieu of, and none of that would happen. So that's why I wanted to call him and ask him what's going on.
Okay, Sylvia, you get about 30 seconds to wrap it up.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's perfect.
That was it. Thank you very much. I'll go to the next questioner. Thanks.
I'd like to tie some things together here, if I could, for a second. When we talked to Kanamu Balinbin earlier, a couple of hours ago, I think if there's a thread here that seems to be happening, one of the things that he had talked about is the need for a community liaison. In other words, a board of people from the local community. If whoever it happens to be that wins here, I think it's something that the Plenum Network would probably be willing to back, is the fact that it sounds like this is a community that needs to have a certain number of people in the community that work as a liaison with the state legislator or the state legislative folks, so you have a certain amount of power on the local level. So if they're too busy doing other things or whatever, you're the place that they pass that back down to. So would you be willing to commit to that if you do make it to be able to let other people, so you don't get so busy as well, but to allow local people to work together to help you to diffuse the information out into the community? And if for some reason the incumbent still makes it, whoever ends up, the other two to commit to be part of that community diffusing of information and a two-way communication.
Love that. Love that. I'm kind of like a mobilizer, organizer kind of guy. So, I mean, I love what you're saying about getting a community, getting the leaders from the tourism industry, getting the leaders from the real estate, getting the leaders from the farming, getting the leaders, you know, the teachers, the art galleries here in Lahaina, you're planning, get them involved, the Rotary clubs. Let's build something of our own. So whoever wins this seat, you know, me, Kanamo, or Angus, will get some strong power behind them, you know, like build it. And that's what I would do for the community part. But I'm also, like I said, I'm gonna knock on doors in the legislation to build my own kind of leaders and looking at where I can stand to fight for the people. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't like big corporations come over here, tell us what to do. Done with that. Done with that.
Okay, mahalo.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So who's next? Daniel, you ready? You got questions? Okay, go for it, Daniel.
Okay, aloha, Junya.
Hello, brother. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Okay, I'm going to start with this question here. All right. As a public representative, it is a duty to face the truth and to act righteously. These islands reflect the lowest voter turnout in the United States. On May 15th, 2019, Dr. David Kianusai gave a presentation to the Maui County Council, evidencing the illegal overthrow of Queen Liliuokalani in 1893 and showing clear violation of domestic and international law with the ongoing illegal United States military occupation of the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands. As a candidate for public representation, how do you rectify handling the truth of Dr. Sai's presentation, as well as the works of Keamuku Kapu, Henry Noah, Amelia Gora, Bumpy Kanahele, Leon Su, Dr. Desaias, Madame Ruth Bolame, the Ko Hawaii Pai Aina office in Hilo, etc.? How do you rectify the compliance of the law and restoration of occupied lands?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that thing up. Again, like I told Sean, I will get educated about this, but I kind of know where you're coming from. So the Kianusai one, thank you to Tamara for bringing them to the county council and having us guys the opportunity to hear it, you know, and listen to them. Because I did, but was working, yeah. So you kind of watch them every time. And then I try to go back on them, you know, time consuming. But I'm gonna look into it and really say that if we got, I still think that we got illegally overthrown. Yes, we did. I totally believe that. But I can believe that, but I got to get educated about that. And I thank you for bringing this up because Kianusai, he also had a couple other places where he hold meetings, you know, around the whole state, you know, at cafeterias, at halls. And again, try to listen as much as possible. But I just never have time because, again, I'm going to say I was always busy coaching, working, coaching. My two girls finally graduate, one from high school, one from college. So now they're all pal. I put some time into this to learn all about this. And the Keamoku one, I respect that guy to the end of the world. But again, I don't know exactly what he went through, so I should get educated, especially as a Hawaiian to begin with. And then just so we can, you know, get rightfully what is ours. And then, like I say, put the Hawaiians back on the land. And then that's how, you know, that's also going to help with the housing crisis. Because if we can go back on the Hawaiian homelands, that's going to free up other places that the Hawaiians are renting now for other people. So, you know, and then, you know, homeless, everything.
If I could put out, Junior, there's one thing, there's a book put out by the Richardson School of Law called A Treatise on Hawaiian Law. You must get that.
Yeah, I will.
It's taken 150 years to write it. It's based on Hawaiian law, state law, federal law, and international law. And it aligns all the things that have happened with the Hawaiian people that have been incorrect, but it aligns it with all law from local to international. So that's A Treatise on Hawaiian Law, highly recommended. Bruce, are you ready? You have some questions?
Thank you for that, John. Mahalo. Thank you, Danny.
Okay.
Aloha.
Yes, Junya.
Yes, sir.
the illegal drug problem, the ICE problem, the opioid problem has been major here in Maui. If you're elected for a state rep, what would be your plan to how to deal with those issues?
I think this has been said, and I think I believe in it too, is that gotta stop them at the source. You know, where it's coming in. Sorry, but I don't do drugs, so I don't know if they can make them or they import them. If they import them, stop them where it is. Just like with the tourists, we gotta control them and all that kind of stuff. We can stop the drugs from coming in, stop them. Yeah, drugs no good. Literally not. Ice like that no good. No good. Sorry, I'll just we find the laws, make the laws, back up the police, everybody to do their jobs, and also have the judicial system keep them in jail if they're doing drugs. Sorry, I hope that answered the question.
That's good. And food security is a big issue in Hawaii. What would be your plan to increase our food security on the Hawaiian Islands?
Again, slowly learning about this one, but we said it forever, farming. And I mentioned this the last time. The food hub here in Maui, I think is doing great. It's going in the right direction. You know, people get the connections of a lot of, like I'm hearing where the farmers are losing a lot of the produce because they kind of get them to the locals. So with the food hub, that's making the connection from the people like us to buy them from the farmers and help everybody help out each other. You know what I mean? We need the food hubs, make it work. So again, we don't need to depend on the Costco's and the big vegetable people bringing them in. Also, another like that one clip that I seen about them putting cows on the plane for shipping to the mainland. Sorry, but we need them over here. Why we gotta buy mainland beef when we get them from Hawaii? We send them to mainland. I educate myself about the GMO. It's pretty much like GMO. You come over here, you make the seeds here in our islands, then you send the seeds to the mainland and grow them and bring them back to us. It's it's going backwards. You know what I mean? We had the beef here, leave the beef here so we can feed our people. I hope that answers your question.
Totally. And also, we'd like to know what you believe. What is your feeling? There's a big drive locally now to come up with a Maui local Department of Agriculture, where we start taking care of our own islands here. Maui as a community. Could you spend just a minute on your thoughts about the possibility of backing and working with a local Department of Agriculture here to help the farmers?
110% backing up the Maui farmers for sure. But I know we need it. We want to make like a public farm stuff land over here in Lahaina. Just totally backing up local farming. I mean, that's the way we gotta go. You know, we can take care of our own self if the legislators let us.
Well, you would be one of those legislators, so
yeah,
you know,
I will.
In my na'au, it tells me from what I'm hearing from my local friends in other places that each one of the counties is feeling this strongly to be able to deal with their own issues locally. So we can go back to the districts in Awapua'a, which the Hawaiians, for how many generations, Salkahala and Saunka'i taught that to me personally, that, you know, our answers lie in the past. We don't have to look to the high tech. We look to the wisdom. And right now, we feel that's an energetic thing is the ability for us to have our own Department of Agriculture. So thank you for that. Paul, you have a question?
Agree.
Yes, my question, Junya, is really something I'm sure you've experienced with having two daughters go through the school system here in Maui County. And what are your thoughts about the education system that we have and having it be Oahu-centric? And what can we do to change the system that we have where so much money goes from our taxes over to Oahu and tends to disappear before coming back to serve our community and our school needs that we have here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Lahaina. Sorry, I know I am also with Narkihe and White Malaya, but Lahaina, we generate a lot of tax dollars here in Lahaina for the state. And like, and then, and then, why are we sending our money to Honolulu and it's not, and then we take the TAT, takes a while to get back here, and then we're not using it for the education, like for education program. The teachers that I've been talking to, the local teachers that live here all their life, went to college, got their degrees, came back, and still became teachers. I tip my hat off to them for doing it because they get the lowest paid, guys. So if we can get the local teachers taken care of, instead of us having the DOE screw up our mismanage our money, like over there, and then try to bring the mainland teachers over here and then pay them on per diem so that they can live here. Why are we not using that money for taking care of local people that love our kids way more than just books and numbers and all the stuff that they really care for them? They all do. I know they use their own money for go buy all the supplies and all of that. So how are we not taking care of the teachers? I don't know why. I don't know how. But that's one thing I really, really want to push. Because I get planning, like again, my two daughters went through them. I had a teacher strike over here in Hawaii. I went to both of the strikes and give them oranges, watermelons, water, walked the line with them. My kids came with me, and then they was like, what are we doing? But then now they know about it. We got to take care of teachers. Yeah, I mean, and you got to stay here in Maui, the local money.
Great, thank you, Junya, for that.
Thank you.
And who would be next? Anyone raising their hand here? Laura?
Okay. Hi. So Ige wants to make it mandatory for children to get vaccinated, and I was wondering what your feeling is about that.
I think it's, for me, I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Serious. I don't trust what these guys tell me to put into me. We're still not sure about this whole vaccination. Is it good for me? Is it not good for me? All these medical pills that come up on the commercials, they always get, caution. You might get a headache, you might get this, and so we don't know what's going on with this vaccination thing. So I'm not gonna do them. They're going, I'm not gonna do them. I don't want my kids to do them either.
Okay.
I think we just gotta practice what we do. Like Sean was saying, like we're back to old ways. Take the medicines that we used to. Using aloe. All of that stuff. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. That's very good. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else here? Sure, Daniel, go for it.
Junya,
Yes,
my question is on economic recovery. Now, because of this COVID situation, obviously the economy is impacted heavily. We have impact to our economy itself, which is heavily in tourism, as well as all of our restaurants and things being closed down, and the economic stimulus, which there is no free lunch. We got to figure out a way to pay this. What can you share with us as far as a plan to assist our community through this, and what economic recovery could look like?
Again, it's pretty much like us guys going back and taking care of ourselves. Again, with the food wise, with this whole COVID thing too, and kind of teach us that we cannot live off of just tourism. And so again, I brought this up to a couple people a couple of days ago about agriculture, but they're saying that's not the only thing we gotta do. We gotta be self-sustainable. Like the windmills up on the Mountain Bamaalaya, they're not spinning right now because too much people there, on an island, so we're not using them. So we should start saving this energy and try to use them. We gotta learn to be self-sustainable, and that's the only way we can do them. Not only, but that's one of the main ways we can start doing them, is getting back on our feet, being self-sustainable. If you're planning people fishing, who hunting, living off the wind, the water mills, like generating electricity through the old days where they spin the wheels and then with the water and building electricity. That's with this COVID, that's all I can think of. Sorry. Hope I answer your question, John.
Yeah, I hear you. Because going back to the old ways, and what that looks like economically, I guess I'm looking for a bit more specific of what that could look like. Can you sort of go more in depth as far as what that really looks like as far as a plan that you see?
Okay, after this whole COVID thing,
Correct.
so like again, I kind of glad the way they're doing right now with the phases, like slowly opening them up and opening up the stores. Not so much the malls, but we need to get people back to work. So start off slowly, open it up, let the locals go out and try to get back. Don't just have to depend on tourism. Have the locals go see what they can to put more money into other people's pocket, and hopefully it goes back when they come into the restaurant. Like I heard the restaurant guys today, they were saying they're trying to do the whole social distancing. So there's a lot of issues that we gotta do to make that happen. Like the restaurants, getting people into the restaurants, not just doing the takeouts. So social distancing, putting up the plexiglasses between booths, at the cash register. And then also tourism is still a big number one thing that we need right now, but let's control it. Let's just have like a little bit control over it, because Choco, my family worked for the tourism. I was working for the tourism. I was a chef at a restaurant, one of the big restaurants here in Lahaina. And yeah, I think we just gotta slowly get back into it. We cannot get back into it too quick, because we're gonna jam up like Georgia them did. All those other states when try to hurry up, get back, and then they all got worse.
Appreciate that, Junya. One of the things that we have, which is an extraordinary thing, as an engineer and working with that side of things, we're getting far ahead of ourselves in technology. That technology is a force multiplier. If you have an idea, if you have an ability to do something, you can do it 1,000 times more efficiently. So if your heart and your awareness is in the right way, technology can take the old ways and be the voice and communication that allows that to multiply out into a different way of working. So the great knowledge that the Hawaiians have had can be transferred utilizing pretty advanced technologies. But we have to go back to having that pono, direct way of working. I just wanted to put this out as maybe perhaps a little bit of a bridge, that we do have those capacities, but we have to deeply listen to the honest truth of what the Hawaiians have had for a long period of time. So thank you for my soapbox. Yeah, is there anyone else? Laura, you have something you'd like to say?
Sure, that's awesome. I'm gonna get your number before this thing done, because you can be part of my leadership of the community to put together. No joke. We just gotta,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we just gotta work together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Laura?
Okay. Oh, I'm not on mute. Okay. So I guess the one other thing I'm interested in is the 5G. If you feel like we're ready to have 5G, if it's safe, or do you support
Perhaps
it?
We have a question, Laura, that we decided to ask on that, and that is, what are your thoughts, Junya, about 5G?
Okay, that's good.
Again, I went to a meeting that they wanted to put a 5G antenna right above my house, and it's right below one elementary school. And then I went to this meeting to educate myself. What is it safe? Because I never really look up into it. But again, sorry, Facebook, social media, he did, all kinds of stuff. But instead of just following the Facebook, social media, I wanted to educate myself. So I went to this meeting, expecting to get educating for them, tell me anything about 5G. Zero. The two guys was there, never have nothing to tell me they was safe. So after listening to them for about 15 minutes, the guys that was there said that this is not going to happen in our community because we're not sure if it's safe. And of all places, right below one elementary school, no, we're not having that here. And I know that Tamara went Fulton, and that's awesome. And so I think she feels the same way. So I know Latina can go to the county level before we know, and I hope Latina going to the legislation capital before we know. If not, Angus is going to get a phone call, and Ross is going to get a phone call. Sorry, but they will. Because I don't know nothing about it too much. But again, it's something I got to look into. But as much as I did look into, it's no good.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Interesting thing that happens with technology is it sneaks up on us, and there's an arrogance of technology. In my own personal, there can be easy ways, correct ways to utilize technology. There can be other ways where just because they can do it, they'll sneak in and become invasive. The corporations, Verizon, AT&T, they're the ones that get these systems set up where they're, as engineers, we know we need to stay a certain amount of distance away, or there has to be a certain thing, but they come back in and they're invasive within our society. They slowly sneak in as a corporation. The challenge is we have to be vigilant as local, like as an engineer, as a technician, as others, we have to be vigilant to ensure that our safety here locally is actually done. So there are two sides to the whole system, but we have to have, once again, that balance. That's what's important. So thanks a lot, Junya.
Yeah, Cherry, Sean, because that's how we got to do. You know what I mean? We got to, again, the community. I mean, I was so happy about my Napili Kapulua Honokoi community because we did show up. And that's what we got to do. We got to get educated. We got to know what's going on. Again, the GMO thing, I got educated by it, but half the things I do consume was GMO, but I had a choice to do that. You know what I mean? I had a choice to drink this beverage other than this one. But putting the GMO on our lands, no choice. Putting the 5G in my neighborhood without my choice, no, that cannot happen. Just no can. That's what we got to stand up. And I'm going to make sure that our community know about it, and we all going to stand strong. Sorry if you Verizon or AT&T customers or that, but never mind. If your phone don't work, go more towards Lahaina. But we don't need them over here.
Laura, more questions?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Sylvia, you have a deep frown on your brow, as if there's something extraordinary flowing around in there. Do you want to share anything, or would you like to ask a question or two?
Do you have any idea how your voting record would be different from the incumbent? Are there ways that the incumbent has voted on issues that you disagree with?
Again, I don't really look into his voting records, but the bypass when there's, over here, they never come ask us, the local people of Lahaina, how to make it. And it was brought up that now it's pretty much that's the only way. I thought we was going to have the Lower Hono'opili Highway and the bypass and make it happen. But I mean, they never come check with us. They never come ask us. That's the local people. I was a junior in high school when they would kick my classmates out of their house for make this bypass. And then then next thing you know, when they make this bypass, it's backwards. You know what I mean? I say another word, but it's backwards. It didn't help us. That merge just to screw everything up. I just went to Kahului the other day, and I loved it. Was nobody on the road, so it's perfect. But it's not because of the bypass. It's just because now we have all the cars. But yeah, we gotta talk. I tell you, we get like, I think there are plenty smart guys that we all gotta listen to. It, like, you know, Sean, are you gonna keep on bringing them up because you brought it up? Bringing everybody together. You know what I mean? The Lahaina, listening to the Lahaina people. If you get an issue in Kihei, like North Kihei, I'm gonna listen to them. But we all gotta listen to their issues down there. Same thing with East Maui. Same thing with everywhere. We all get different kind of issues. We just gotta come together. And if we take care of our own district, everybody do that. Make them pono, make them cherry. Oh, cherry. We're gonna be on #1 island. I think Molokai is right now, but
There's been actually a talk about the possibility of us having community, like they do in Honolulu. You know, each community has their own community boards. There's been some talk about that. I don't want to talk about it here, but it's one of the weavings of what's been talked about.
I think Kai Nishiki doing something like that over here so far.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. What are your feelings, Junya, about the use of eminent domain to take back possession of the water distribution system in Maui, and also using eminent domain for the county to take back a possession of the former sugarcane farmlands to make it a community trust? What are your feelings about using bond initiatives and state funds in order to state bond issues in order to put those back in local control?
Again, I think I've been saying this for the past maybe, I don't know, hour. Yeah, put the money back in the county, and I know you guys are saying this about the county having more power than the state, you know, and all that stuff. So yeah, putting the money back into and then the power back into the county. I'll give props to our county council over here. They're doing a great job now. I watch them on their tireless budget hearing team all the way to like 12 o'clock in the morning. They're crazy. They did a great job. And so I think putting the state money back into the county will help the county. I believe it.
And issues of home rule, where counties have more ability to run the affairs of the county. For instance, the school boards, and having local school boards running our county schools rather than anything from the state. So if you become a state rep, how would you feel about transferring more powers to the counties so we can have home rule locally?
110%, because that's pretty much why I'm going to trying to get into the capital, because we need more power here on the county level, but they got to hear us. And so I'm going to the capital to let them know that County of Maui is, sorry, but badass. You know what I mean? The Kauai mayor, what he did, you know, like shutting down, never wait, he shut him down. He pretty much gave the curfew. That is what's got to be done. You put him back in the county, because, I mean, Honolulu, my family know I don't really care for that place because there's only too much people over there. But, yeah, they run by money, sorry. They run by money, the big corporation guys. So if we let the county do what they want to do for each of the county and take care of themselves, and then if I know there's some of the stuff where the governor do something, but he never check with the mayors, you know, so then, you know, it's like no more communication. So yeah, put the power back in the county. I think that's where it's going to belong, because especially our county right now, our county council is doing a great job.
So the state department is a snake pit over there. You go through the state and there's all sorts of special interests and difficulties in navigating and working within the state legislature. How do you feel you're equipped to deal with that, shall we say, snake pit of the state?
I got to come back on a plane and come back to Maui and face my people. I'm not, you know, yeah. I mean, I'm going to stand up, because if if I go lose to the county guys, the state guys over there, I take my cracks, because when I come home, I'm gonna hear it wherever I go. You know what I mean? My kids no like even follow me to the store for buy juice, because I'm gonna talk to people. You know, so I'm gonna end up seeing people all over. So yeah, I ready for the snake pit. I hope the snake pit is ready for me. That's what I'm trying to say. Because yeah, I mean, I know it's a scary place, but I ready. You know what I mean? My 2 daughters graduate. I ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Refreshing.
Daniel,
nice.
I think
Daniel.
you got a question.
Yeah, quick question here. You speak a lot about the need for transparency. You know, calling these people, and you know they're too busy to get back. You know, and that the people should be most educated on these issues. And because of your experience, I wonder what insights that you have of how that can happen. Like, how would you in those offices create a platform for people to be educated and be involved, to understand all these things? How could you do that? Could you share?
Daniel, I'm glad you brought that up, because I can bring up my union background when I was with the ILWU. I hated seeing my, you know, in my paycheck union dues, but nothing was happening. Okay, and then when I had something with grievance and nothing would happen, I got involved. Yeah, that's because I was mad. I was pissed. So what I did is, again, based on what Sean was saying, sorry, brother, but I found the leaders. I found all the leaders. Like I found the Tongni leaders, the Filipino leaders, the older leaders, and the younger blood. You know, so I kind of bring everybody together, but you kind of got to piss them off in the issues. So then they get all engaged in them, and they look into them. You know, like if they are content, people it's too content right now. You know what I mean? Well, what's happening? If you educate them and let them know what's happening, like every bill that comes to my desk or comes in front of me, I'm gonna try to use this Zoom thing and this new social media thing to educate everybody. Hey, this is what's coming to my desk. This is what, and I'll let my District 10 know what's going on, and hopefully it pisses them off to get more involved and want to do something about it, want to look up into it. And then actually, once they look up to it, they don't like them, come outside and let us know. And I know we all would be all the way in Honolulu, but we'll have our voices heard. You gotta, yeah, I think they get educated if they get pissed off. Sorry. That's what I did when I was in the union.
Mahalo, Junya.
Thank you.
So we have time for one more question. Are we pretty complete here?
I think so. Actually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to give Junya about 3 or 4 minutes to just speak out at the end of your time. Anything that you would like to say to the Pono Network and the people that are listening as you go out, and then we'll give you a signal right at the end. But just 2 or 3 minutes of your time. This is yours to say what you'd like to say.
Mahalo for this time. Again, Maui Pono Network. Mahalo for this. This is one way we'll get my ugly mug out there and educate people about who I am and what I'm gonna stand for. But I also, for the other 2 guys I'm running against, to educate everybody about them, because whoever gets into office, the community, we gotta push them and hold them accountable, and then all of that, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about the community. If we all can get out, and if they can bother me when I get in office, but if not, if Angus get back, bother him. He, go ahead, call him up. Same thing with Kanamu. He get in, hold the line. I don't need to call in. Let him know. So I'm gonna say right now, win or lose, I'm winning right now because I get to educate people on what's going on and what needs to happen. And you guys is right here, smart guys that will educate me on a lot of things and what I gotta go look into. And it's just not just this time. It's Sean, I listened to you before, and then also Daniel talking to you the last time. And I just love yeah, just love this. And I mean, I'm going to take the passion of Maui to Honolulu in a snake pit. And so they better be ready for me because I'm going to be ready for them. Mahalos.